What's up, y'all? This is John, Mike, and Caleb back for another episode of the Nothing Finer podcast. If y'all are watching on YouTube, you will see that we went live on Sunday night on YouTube. If you're watching live with us right now, we appreciate it. This is all new to us on YouTube. So I hope I'm doing it right. And if y'all send a comment or something, give me some time because I got. Thanks, Mike. You're our number one fan. Let's see what happens
It
when I click
wa-
on that. Oh, I can't. I clicked on the little icon next to your name and nothing happened. So,
Whack.
um,
There we go.
hey,
Chat's blowing up. What's going on, chat?
but
There we go.
yeah. So just give me some time. When we record, I juggle through five different screens on the laptop, so I missed some stuff if we get some comments while live. But I'm gonna try to keep up with it. But we're talking about week zero. Um, I'm sure you guys saw that by now. Um, but before we really talk about anything else, I do want to remind you all that on September 13th, we are doing our very first watch party live at the Rock House. That's going to be super exciting. Um, uh, we got some new merch up on Millions, where we are also going live on Thursdays. I'm just trying to do the housekeeping up front. Um, if you are one of those people that comes back to the podcast once football season rolls around, and we know there are some of you because I see the numbers, and
Yeah.
we have gone up a decent amount in the past month. So we know you're there. Don't hide. It's fine. Um, but like, you know, tell people about it.
Yeah.
Rate and review the show 5 stars. Just hook us
College
up.
football's 20 or 24/7, 12 months a year. Let's go. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Come on
Uh,
now.
That is fair. Yeah, but I understand there's people out there that don't do it 24/7, 365 like the normal people. Like, what are you doing? Having hobbies and a life outside of football? Lame.
Yeah. There are
Them kids
things that
can wait.
exist outside of football. What are we talking about?
Them kids can wait. Gotta read about the Fun Belt.
Um, all right. So how are y'all doing, man? How was your first weekend of college football?
I had a pretty good time. It was actually my easiest Saturday in a very long time, which made it easier to actually sit down and enjoy college football. So I had a really, really great time. It also helps that if you listen to me and bet responsibly on all of my best bets from Thursday, you got a handsome little addition to your bank account. So that was nice too.
Mike?
Yeah, man. I was super busy. I caught, bits and pieces of each game, try to catch up today and a little bit last night as well. But yeah, man. I mean, just ready for this to get going. How
Yeah,
about you?
you know, I'm lucky that I have Stockholmed my wife into being as big of a Georgia fan as I am, um, and just football fan in general because she didn't really ask me to do anything yesterday except for drive home from dinner, so I missed like the third quarter of the Western Kentucky game, and that's about it. So, you know, could be worse, could be a lot worse. But no, I super excited for football. All the games were actually pretty good, except
Yeah,
for maybe the
there's
Kansas Fresno State game.
there were
Um,
things about all of them that were entertaining.
yes,
Yes.
for sure. Um, but yeah, man, foreplay's over. Let's get
Let's
into
get into the foreplay.
yeah, let's talk about the foreplay. Let's do an after action review, and then on Wednesday, the only episode we're not doing live once a week, we're going to do the interview with hopefully somebody about this 1 versus 3 Ohio State game. And then the
We're not
foreplay is
talking to
over.
somebody from Marshall.
No. Wait, do they have anybody, or do their beat reporters enter the portal too?
I mean, he's got one shot, one opportunity to come on the Nothing Finer podcast. Whoever's there better to come do it.
I,
So,
honestly, so this is something we talked about like in our group chat. They had 50 players go into the portal and 56 come out of the portal, like to Marshall. So the
Yeah.
problem is, I don't think beat reporters know anything about the team.
Yeah. I
They've
don't think
learned,
anybody knows anything about the team at this point with all of that going on.
yeah, it's a little rough. So, so yeah, we're trying to get somebody on for Ohio State. If not, we're going to try and get somebody on for the LSU Clemson game. Just have an interview about one of the better games of the week. Week one, Thursday to Monday, just every day has
Hmm.
bangers. Super excited about that. But we'll go ahead and get into this week zero recap. So the big game of the weekend, the ranked Big 12 matchup, we got Farmageddon. Iowa State won this game 24-21, and no one looked good
Hmm.
for most of the game except for the Iowa State running backs who took off late in the game. Um, Rocco Beck had a 50% completion percentage, 183 yards, two touchdowns, with a 77.1 QBR. Avery Johnson had better numbers, 21 to 30, 273 yards, two touchdowns, but a worse QBR at 76. And that comes down to the types of throws that Avery Johnson was making versus Rocco Beck, because Rocco was dropping them in a bucket over the shoulder, getting some corner routes in the end zone, just high level elite quarterback play when he had time to actually look at a receiver in the pocket, which wasn't all that often. Avery Johnson was throwing a lot of short outs to the tight ends and screens and quick slants and that sort of things, which it will win you games for sure. But
Ask
when you're
Jalen Daniels.
yeah, but when you're playing an Iowa State team that is very good offensively and has the weapons to burn your guys if you give them that opportunity for 4 quarters, you're not going to win that game. It just is what it is. You're going to get out talented there. But after a just nasty first 3 quarters where neither offensive line looked good, but I will say, I'm giving them a little bit of an out. I think due to the nature of offensive line being, moving backwards or holding your ground against another giant human being, with how much it rained and how much of a mess that field was,
Yeah.
they get a pass. Um, because once the rain quit in the second half, both teams looked significantly better.
Yeah.
So I think we
yeah,
need to
fourth quarter
hold
was
off
fun.
judgment for there. Um, but no, it was fun. I'm still high on Kansas State. I'm even higher on Iowa State just based on the way they came together at the end of that game. Um, man, Iowa State has a phenomenal running back duo, for
Hmm.
sure.
Mm. We just need to keep college football in the States. Apparently, paint's not waterproof in Ireland. Uh, a lot. I mean, well, the game was fun at the end, but
They're
it
not used to contact sport over there, clearly.
right.
Yeah, that one was tough look.
Yeah. I do have to say, I couldn't help but notice that this game ended with the exact same final score as last year's Ireland game between Georgia Tech and Florida State.
The over under just needs to be 45.
Yeah, clearly. I will say the finish to this game was a lot less dramatic than the finish to the Georgia Tech and Florida State game, unless you bet the under. Because for those of us who bet the under, that was a heart racing finish there. Thank goodness that review happened, and thank goodness Iowa State did the sensible thing and
It's
kneeled
not
the
the
ball
sensible
out.
thing.
It is okay. I'm saying it's sensible because I made money on it, but
Yeah, no, it's absolutely not like all right. So put yourself in Georgia's like let's make that a Georgia game. All right. So let's say it's Georgia Alabama this year. Georgia's up by 3. I mean they can run out the clock. Or they can take a knee and then with like 5 seconds left, attempt to get a touchdown to just rub salt in the wound.
Oh, I would much rather them attempt that touchdown with 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, I stopped calling my wife, and I did it very well because she was cussing Matt Campbell 6 ways to Sunday because he did not go for it on the 2-inch line at the
Yeah.
end of that game.
That's
Well,
why
look-
that coward's still in Ames, right?
Well, look-
Yeah, no, she said a lot of words that we were trying to limit on the podcast nowadays. So
Well-
Matt Campbell's
well, look,
not welcome around the dinner table here.
Well, if you're listening, it at least made me some money, and you can find solace.
Yeah.
So when can we laugh at the fact that a bunch of so-called experts in the media saw UNLV hire Dan Mullen and bring in a quarterback whose name is only known because RG3 made him a meme, and they said, yeah, that team's a playoff contender.
Couldn't be
You
me.
do realize you're talking about me too, right?
Well, yeah, but look, yeah, I was kind of convinced too, especially when Connor came on talking about Dan Mullen. If we're being honest, I'll put myself in there too.
The same guy that picked Florida State.
Yeah, I know. I should have thought.
So,
No, I'm kidding. Love you, Connor.
so when it was not Alex Orgy at quarterback,
They were fine.
they were good, is
Yeah.
the thing. The problem is you can take Todd Grantham out of your defensive coordinator spot. You can't take his style of play. And I know Todd Grantham is not, or I don't know if he's ever been the UNLV defensive coordinator, but he was for Dan Mullen for a very long time.
You left a stank on Dan Mullen. right?
Ask Mark Richt. That is a tough thing to shake, even once he's gone.
Yeah, no, it was judging by the way that they did nothing well except
Mhm.
for like UNLV hit extremely hard. But it was after the first down. It was late on the quarterback. It was the wrong guy. There's just no discipline anywhere, which Dan Mullen team, like we should have known.
We should have. Also, just want to point out, apparently Todd Grantham was a defensive analyst for Alabama in 2022, which might explain why they didn't make the playoff that year.
That's true. What is he doing now?
Now he is the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State. So, guys, if you're seeing Oklahoma State games, let's bet the over on those.
Was
We
that-
need to talk. We need to talk to somebody from Oklahoma State at the end of the year to see how they're doing mentally.
My friend that makes moonshine is an Oklahoma State fan.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, he was also Dan Mullen's assistant head coach and defensive coordinator at Mississippi State when he got
Yes.
flea flickered on by Jake Fromm.
Early bet. Oklahoma State at Oregon, week 2. Take the Oregon line, take the over.
Yeah, that's gonna go on everybody's best bet for sure. Good old Todd Grantham. Yeah, I gotta say, it took probably one drive in this game to see that Anthony Calandria was the better quarterback in here.
It took literally one drive to see that he could hold on to a football.
Right.
Yes, I mean-
Shocking that the guy who's actually started on a regular basis in power conference football and made the preseason all-conference team is better than the guy who's never succeeded at any level. Crazy how that happens.
Uh-huh. Where did Calandria play before?
Virginia. He
UVA.
started quite a
right.
bit at Virginia. I did some research on this because I was just like, okay, where did this kid come from? Because clearly he has more in the tank than the meme.
Oh, he's part of the reason that UVA came back to being decent last year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know what talked him
see.
into go playing for Dan Mullen, but yeah.
Well,
But
I mean-
look, one thing is clear: UNLV is going to give up a lot of points this year.
yes.
That defense could not stop a slowly moving bicycle with no rider.
Uh-huh.
In fairness, the officials were calling pass interference on balls that sailed 20 yards over somebody's head in that game. But also, in fairness, you shouldn't be in a position where those penalties are deciding a game against a team like Idaho State, a 5-7 FCS team.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been down 17-14 to an FCS team.
Yeah, at any point. They were down late in
Do
the game
that.
too, 31-24. And they were, when they tied it up towards the end and got it 31-31, they were celebrating with Fortnite dances in the end zone.
Come on now.
So yeah, this was very funny. I picked UNLV to cover in this game, and I don't care because watching Dan Mullen suffer, I forgot how much fun it was.
We're all on that side. We were all right.
Yeah.
That was the right pick.
It should have been the right pick. Like,
Yeah, clearly
it should have been. Like, dude, you're playing a 5-7 FCS team.
Yeah,
it should be a no-brainer to cover that.
The only way not to cover 25 points against that team is to Dan Mullen it, and I guess we all should have seen that coming.
I'm really just happy that there was no shoe thrown.
I'm not. That would have been very entertaining.
Yeah, but just imagine if we were wrong and Idaho State beat UNLV.
That's true. Oh man, that would have been my my Instagram, my one loss from picks. That would have eaten me up.
Except for it's just another opportunity to trash talk Dan Mullen.
Fair enough. The memes I would have gotten from that would have been worth it.
All right, Kaleb, you were very invested in this Fresno at Kansas game, so let's get into that one.
Yeah, I thought Jalen Daniels was fine. The reason I'm talking about this one so much is because I talked so highly of Jalen Daniels in the preview, so I feel like I need to come back and give an update on it. A lot of people are talking about him completing 90% of his passes, which is very good, but it was basically all in the short game. His longest pass was a 21-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Even that was a screen. In fact, 2 of his 3 touchdowns were on screens. Most of his throws were very short. So you could definitely make the argument he was a bit of a yak merchant in this one, but it worked. They covered. Maybe they just wanted to give him something easy to boost his confidence because, he's been out so much. Maybe they don't trust him to throw it down the field. He did have one nice touchdown pass over the middle of the field. It was about 13 yards. But I was really impressed with Kansas's run game in this game. 207 on the ground, 5 yards of carry across all runners. You could argue that the screen game is an extension of the run game, and that was really successful. Offensive line seems good. Trenches are where college football is won. So Jalen Daniels didn't blow me away, but I'm still high on Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why they're one of our puncher's chance, not puncher's chance teams, are puncher's chance.
Yeah,
teams.
puncher's chance.
Yeah.
I will say Fresno State was a little disappointing. And not because I lost a bet because I had them covering in the first half, but just like I remember days of Fresno State putting up a legitimate fight. And it kind of sucks that they're about to move into the Pac-12 with no fight left in this team.
I mean, Devontae Adams and Derek Carr aren't walking through that door.
Well, they might be, because Derek Carr is retired, so you never know. He could be the next general manager, do like a lesser version of what Andrew Luck's doing at Stanford.
It's hard to do a lesser version of what Stanford did. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There are certain things that I liked about Stanford's team, and that's not just me trying to be nice, I will say. I can see the vision. It just there's no stars in that vision, and I mean recruiting stars. But no, I can't tell yet if Kansas is good or Fresno's bad. And like I said, this is the only bet I lost on the weekend. Whatever. It moved up to Fresno being a 7.5-point dog for the first half, and I was like, I like that better than 6.5. Let's go. Didn't matter. But no, Fresno almost looked like they had quit after the first quarter, and that was concerning.
Yeah, that part disappoints me more than the way they played early. Is the fact that they just stopped.
Yeah.
And Kansas didn't need to play the second half. The score towards the I think they scored that 31st point early in the third quarter and just didn't score again.
Yeah.
I will say with Fresno's performance, that makes me feel a lot better with Georgia Southern going out to Fresno next time. So
there we go.
12-0 still on the table, boys.
Wait, when is that game?
I think it's Saturday. I think it's it's on FS1. I do know that.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a 9:30. That's our Pac-12 after dark.
Oh yeah.
Georgia Southern at Fresno.
Let's
come on, Eagles.
Giant killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I watched the Sam Houston and Western Kentucky game. It was a very very fun game to watch. Western Kentucky is just like while we're talking about the Helton brothers, let's just talk about how phenomenal they are at offenses because Tyson up in Bowling Green has a hell of an offense. Um, and they were talking about during the broadcast, he is open and happy with being a stepping stone for offensive coordinators to get bigger jobs. Like he's talked about their current offensive coordinator, Houston Baptist, was his last job. He went graduate assistant, Houston Baptist offensive coordinator, Western Kentucky, and Tyson's pretty much said like, yeah, I don't expect him to be with the program for very long, and that's fine. I can find somebody else. Not in a negative way, but just
He's done it a few times,
Yeah.
and
yeah, yeah. I
he'd
mean,
rather have the guy who's really good at his job right now.
so they talked about the records that Western Kentucky's quarterback, and I'll talk about his name in a minute because it's an elite name.
Awesome. Yeah, all names.
But apparently he set the second best debut performance in Conference USA behind former Western Kentucky quarterback Bailey Zappi, another guy that played at a lesser school, came over to Western Kentucky for 1 year, tore it up, and left. And Western Kentucky's fine with that, which I think is cool. They know their place, and they know that they can have some phenomenal games in the Conference USA with doing it that way. Super. I find that very interesting that they're like, yeah, we know who we are, and we're still better than you.
And shout out to Western Kentucky for having a mascot that doesn't have teeth. You don't need it.
Doesn't have teeth is
Maybe it
still not
should.
real.
It's still
Yeah.
terrifying.
All right, that's add that to the docket. We need to put teeth on the whole topic.
Noted.
But yeah, so Western Kentucky's quarterback name, if you didn't watch this game, first off, you're wrong.
Yeah.
41-24 game, just a ton of fun.
Uh,
Western Kentucky in the second half just kind of had their way with the Bearcats. But Western Kentucky quarterback name, Maverick McIver.
Let's go.
That like
Legendary name.
that may
Yes.
be the whitest name in college football.
Oh, but it's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's
sweet.
right behind Carson Hansen, the Iowa State running back, who is white.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy.
yeah. But
Big 12 loves them some white running backs.
Maverick McIver, 33 of 51 for 401 yards, 3 touchdowns. He looked good. He had, I want to say, at least one, maybe two rushing touchdowns too. He just kind of did whatever he wanted. And if Western Kentucky can continue to do that, they have they already won Conference USA.
Who else is Liberty? Maybe. I mean,
Yeah, I can't name a team that's like making moves in Conference USA. right now,
Kennesaw
so.
State,
Kennesaw.
Kennesaw's making moves, but I don't know if they're
But-
there yet.
But your boy
Delaware
isn't.
in their first year.
Yeah.
But your boy isn't the coach there anymore, right?
At Kennesaw, no, he's actually at Army now.
Oh, snap.
Nice.
Yeah,
Army winning the American.
He was on 247's 30 under 30 coaches list.
Let's
There you
go.
go.
Yeah,
Alright.
we need to actually work on having him on next offseason. I just don't know when to reach out to coaches to talk because, they are busy 365 days a year. So we'll have
Right.
to work on that probably shortly after the season's over, but who knows?
Just looking at CUSA team, like CUSA members, Delaware. Oh, their future. My bad. But yeah, Kennesaw State.
No, Delaware's in.
Delaware's in this year. They're in.
Are they? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're in the game too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got Liberty, Jacksonville State without Rich Rod, Louisiana Tech, New Mexico State. I don't know.
Without
I'm
Diego Pavia, I don't know.
early. We got Western Kentucky hoisting a trophy.
Yeah.
All right. I don't hate it.
Just get a better mascot without teeth.
Please. Good Lord, please.
Um,
So let's
I,
get to the reason I didn't watch that game, and it's because I was watching this monstrosity play out on the beautiful islands of Hawaii when Stanford played Hawaii. I'm not going to bury the lead on this one. The funniest moment came just before halftime when Hawaii wasn't doing much on offense, kind of sort of getting down the field, mainly as a result of penalties. Funny that. Stanford winning by 6. Hawaii decides to run a flea flicker, and Stanford defensive lineman Clay Patterson reads it perfectly, blows it up, sacks the quarterback for a huge loss. Really good chance to stop the whole drive in its tracks right there and go into halftime with the lead. But then the idiot decides to gesture for the camera, perform a whole TikTok dance for about 30 seconds, running away from the play. So he's just by himself on the field. Everybody can see it. And then gets hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Shock on his face as the flag gets thrown, like he has no idea what he's done. And so the sack basically gets erased. 2 plays later, Hawaii scores a touchdown and takes the lead. If I'm the coach, I don't care how good Clay Patterson is, he ain't seeing the field again, especially considering Hawaii won this game by 3 points. Meaning if the kid just high fives his teammates and lines up for the next play, which I think would have been a long third down, Stanford probably wins this football game.
Yeah. And as someone that's seen a lot of Fortnite dances, I've never seen that one. I was very confused as to what got him the unsportsmanlike. I thought it was like a sexual thing or whatever, but I'm like, I don't even know what he's doing.
Yeah, when I said Fortnite dance in the group chat, I just assume that anytime a Gen Z person does a silly dance, it's a Fortnite dance.
No, you're it's probably pretty safe.
yeah. So I will say a few really cool stories came out of this one. If you didn't pay attention to the commentary, the Hawaii kicker, his story is insane. So he grew up in Japan, Japanese kid. Just want to make that clear because there's a lot of expats and military guys living in Japan. But no, he's a Japanese kid. Did not speak English. Learned to kick footballs on YouTube and went and walked on at JUCO Hocking College in Ohio. Without knowing how to speak English, he learns how to speak English at Hocking College in Ohio. And then goes to Hawaii and he kicks a game-winning field goal in like a quadruple XL jersey for him to be a small dude. And he kicks a game-winning field goal for Hawaii's first win against a Core 4 team since beating Arizona and Oregon State in the first 2 weeks of the 2019 season.
Love it.
Yeah, it was a cool story for sure.
Yeah.
They talked about it a lot.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
But just the fact, like, I looked up the JUCO he went to. Hocking College, never heard of it. But apparently, they can teach someone how to speak English. So,
if you need to learn English, I don't know how you're hearing this if you need to learn to speak English, but Hocking College.
Yes.
It was founded in 1968 with a $4.8 million endowment.
Love a good endowment school. All right.
I don't know where Nelsonville, Ohio is, but it sounds like somewhere that they have.
It sounds awful because it's Ohio. So
they have to go to Japan and get some people that don't speak English to go there. I get it. I get it, Hocking.
But no,
no scientists, no doctors. Oh, we got this kid who wants to be a football kicker. Let's do that.
You saw it on YouTube, thought it was cool. Why not? Shout out them for even having a JUCO team at a school that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah. I will say Hawaii's quarterback impressed me with his determination. I called him the Mountain West Diego Pavia.
Fair.
So by the end of the game, he had a coach with their arm, like with his arm around the coach, with only putting weight on one foot to get off the field because he hurt his ankle so bad. And apparently after the game, he said he was going to play against Arizona next week.
Hell yeah, college football so back.
I love it. Yeah, he got thrown over one of the sideline guardrails, and I'm talking that's probably 10 yards behind the actual sideline.
Yeah,
he landed on his head after a hit and was in 2 plays later. Like this dude,
gamer,
massively earned my respect because he is a dude.
Well, and also Hawaii, every player on that team was wearing a jersey 2 sizes too big.
Yes,
it just reminded me of like mid 2000s football. so much. We just needed shoulder pads that were 2 sizes too big too.
So with this guy, so he is a freshman, so I'm sure he'll be at Vanderbilt next year
Well,
because
he was a redshirt freshman because he did play late in the season last year. His very first start of his career, he had over 400 passing yards.
he did. He played in 4 games last year. Yep, 6 touchdowns, 0 picks. I mean, he's 8 touchdowns, 0 picks for his career.
Wow.
He's gonna look great in Nashville next year.
Honestly, I hope Georgia doesn't play Vanderbilt if that's the case.
Yeah.
He did go to Bishop Gorman, so it's not like he just came out of nowhere. Like he went to like a legitimate football like powerhouse. Like
He
you could tell.
coming from Bishop Gorman, he has thrown more touchdown passes in meaningful football games than Tate Martell did in his college career.
Tathan.
But no, so in not only like his size, because he's a smaller dude, having a Hispanic last name, that is not why I think of Diego Pavia. It was the way he played the game, but also he didn't have his stat line wasn't great. 69.2% completion,
Nice.
210 yards, 2 touchdowns, 36 yards on 10 carries. But there's absolutely no way that Hawaii is close to in this game without him.
Facts.
Like he scrambled for probably 12 yards to get a first down with his left foot barely attached to his body and got up and tried to run over to the sideline and hobbled over to the sideline to get the next play. And that was part of the game-winning drive. Insane. But no, I am actually looking forward to watching some Hawaii games this year. They look competitive. They got a Troy Polamalu out there just tearing dudes up.
Yeah, watch out. They might they really might be. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win the Mountain West. They might. But they do play at the Arizona Wildcats in Pac-12 after dark action at 10:30.
That's a winnable game. I mean, if
on Saturday. Yeah, that's another winnable Core 4 game if the other one then, and then they get the Sam Houston Bearcats at home.
Yeah, Sam Houston's got a wild road trip this year. I want to say they were one of the teams that's traveling the most outside of Hawaii because obviously Hawaii travels the most.
Yeah. Stanford's traveling quite a bit this year too, but that's because they are in a stupid conference for them.
Correct. Going with Stanford, so I will say that this is a lesser version of the team that Andrew Luck wants at Stanford. And if you don't know, Andrew Luck, after retired from the NFL, he's now the general manager of the Stanford football program. As a college, yes, it doesn't make sense. It is what it is. But this is a ground and pound, physical offensive line, play action team. If they can start to recruit more talent, which there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that want to play and get coached partially by Andrew Luck,
Well, and Frank Reich, his old coach, is their head coach right now too.
Yeah, like they've got a coaching staff to get some good guys. And honestly, with the way that they played and how bad the ACC is, I think that they're going to out physical some teams in the ACC. I mean, Micah Ford at running back was like he was just bowling through Hawaii players late in that game. Stanford's third string tight end caught a touchdown. If they can do the same style of play with the same plays with more talent, I think Stanford's going to be dangerous in the next couple of years, but they've got to be able to recruit.
They'll sneak up on some teams in the ACC for sure this year. So that'll be a popular upset pick at least maybe once or twice this year.
Yeah, especially if they can work on their discipline, because I think that was a big part of what hurt them in this game was the penalties, not just the unsportsmanlike, but it felt like there were flags getting thrown on them every other play, and not all of them were legitimate, but they were being thrown because enough of them had happened that they were just going to keep throwing them.
Hey, I'm calling it right now. Saturday, October 18th, Florida State goes to Palo Alto and to play Stanford. That's a Stanford win.
Oh,
right there, boys.
You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting, and all 5 people that watch it will be very invested.
Hey, and Stanford hosts Notre Dame rivalry week at the end of the year too, and that's not going to happen. But
Notre Dame is known to drop games to teams they shouldn't drop games to. But
No, man, I'm pretty excited. This weekend has got me even more excited. Taking some more people to the first game this weekend, going back to the
Nice.
dog walk, gonna tailgate with Candler and Perry. Just looking forward to getting back into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
hopefully.
good time.
We were talking about maybe going out there for the Marshall game, so we will see. We'll check on that.
Yeah,
To be
I will
determined.
be. Mart, we have a Labor Day weekend tradition of watching the game at my parents' house and firing up the grill and doing all that. So we will probably not be going to this game, but we
Don't
will be
blame you.
with you in spirit.
Don't blame you. All right, guys. Just quick reminder once again. Keep an eye out on social media at nothing.finder.pod on Instagram, at finderpod on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Just look us up. You can find us. But that's where we're going to get the most up to date information on the watch parties, on the merch. Um, my wife is still, I believe, in the YouTube live, so we need to get going on some new logo koozies.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome for telling you 3 weeks out when I've been talking about it on the podcast for two. So, um, but no, we're excited. And then I think we're actually gonna have a big group of like our personal friends and family in town for the October 11th watch party, which is gonna be Auburn Pirates Fest on Tybee.
Oh, sick.
It's gonna be pretty wild. Gonna be a ton of fun.
Good time to
Um,
have this new logo.
yes,
Indeed. Yeah.
unintentionally, but yes.
Yes.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. But as always, remember, there's nothing finer in the land.
Then a
And
drunk obnoxious. Be careful where you do TikTok dances.
Stanford over.